thought I will do a video all about embossing. The first and important thing you need is an embossing stamp ink pad, and I always use this Versamark ink pad and I love it. And the most of the times I'm using only white embossing powder, mostly for sentiments. And for this I have this huge Tupperware box with my beautiful spoon. And the second most often thing I'm using is this clear embossing powder from Hero Arts. For example, I'm using it to stamp in black with Versa Fine and put this clear embossing powder over it, and then you have a special effect on your normal sentiment. So, and the most of the time I do not like embossing because I need so many tools. So I thought it is super clever to pre-prepare some tiny black sentiments. So I can use a huge birthday die or huge birthday stamp and add the tiny pre-embossed happy to it, and I'm a little bit faster in crafting. This was my plan. But very seldom and nearly never I'm using colored embossing powder, and it's such a pity. Is it right? It's such a pity. Because I have so many beautiful colors, and this is what I'm showing you is only a small part of all my embossing powders. And that is why I thought today I will show you different ways of embossing. I do not show you the normal embossing white sentiment because I think this is shown in some other videos from me. So today I thought I will dive in some colors or in some not ordinary techniques. They are not invented by me, but yes, I will show you nevertheless what you can do with your embossing powder and with your embossing stamp ink pad. We start with the first card. I'm using a stamp set from Create a Smile. It's an older one, but it's gonna be re-released this week. The important thing you need to do when you will emboss, you need to prepare your paper. In this case, I used some vellum for my, oh, I do not know the English word for that animal. Okay, I didn't know the word, it's a jellyfish. So first you need to prepare your paper and with some powder which make your embossing powder just stick on the stamped image and not around the image. So I use this EK Success powder tool, but the brush is always going away. I think I brushed too hard. So that is why I put this little powder into a tiny box and use a brush to put it on the paper. I will show you later how I remove it. And here you can see me embossing. I think the first color is from, both colors are from Wow, but Wow is a little bit difficult because you need to take care if you buy opaque or not opaque color. It's very hard for me to remember the difference. I think as one is I think you know what opaque is. In German we do not use this word. So one is shiny through and one is opaque, I think. And I think my blue I used is a little bit opaque. So for example, when you use this on black cardstock, you have some problems to see it because it's very light. It's like clear embossing powder with a little shimmer of blue. But it's perfect, for example, for these jellyfishes or for vellum. So, but take care what you buy. This is my only hint. For attaching these jellyfishes, I use glue and try just to put it behind these lines of the embossing because vellum is very difficult to attach to a card. So maybe you need a glue which is drying invisible or is invisible after drying. Yes, now I'm just adding these water bubbles. They are stamps also from this little set. And again with my blue all opaque or not opaque blue embossing powder from Wow. But I love the color really, really much. Yes, and at the end I just add one of these sentiments I showed you before, because it's an embossing video, so I have these white embossed sentiment. It's a German word for congratulation. And by the way, I think the most of the stamp sets you see me using in German, they are also available in English, or they are only available in English. Yes, at the end I just add some white Nuvo drops for the real underwater look, and I hope it's really looking like underwater. So this is my first card with embossing on vellum, and now we come to my second embossing trick. It's not a trick, and because it's not invented by me, but I like this technique very much. First I use my anti-static powder with my brush. Again, you can use what you want, what you have, what kind of paper, what kind of powder. So, and I'm using these kind of plant. I have not a green thumb. It's German for I have no plans. Oh no, it's English, but in German we have green thumbs if we are good with plants, and I'm not good. So this is my second technique. I just stamp on my cardstock, and then I take my clear embossing powder, and the effect is that you get your normal background color or cardstock color, but just a little bit darker. So this is perfect if you, for example, will do a very soft background, which is not so in the focal point, or you can't decide which color you want to use, so you get just the same color a little bit darker. I think it's a great trick for a different kind of background. And on this card I put these little plants at the bottom of my card, and then I had no idea what to do with my sentiment, so I started to do a second card. And here's my trick how I remove my anti-static powder. I do not take the very wet sheet of I have no idea what the thing is named. So I just take my tissue paper and put it a little bit into the wet thing, and this is how I clean up these powder. So on this card I used brick stencil and the German sentiment. It's again like congratulation, and it's a die from Creative Smile, and these dies are also available or in English words, and I like them very much. And now I add my secret plant, and because now it's a little bit color to color or monochromic, I added some pink Nuvo drops matching to my little heart on the plant pot. I mixed German words, sorry. So, but now I was ready for my second card, because now I had the idea for the sentiment. So first I took my Kuretake watercolors for doing some water drops on my card. I love this technique because it's also a very light background, but it's not too boring like have no background. So I add some white splatter, and after this I try to add some green splatter, but it's not really matching to the color of my green cactus. Cactus? Is it the English word? And here's my sentiment solution. It's also a speech bubble die and sentiment from Creative Smile. Now I come to my final card. I love this card the most, and I like this technique the most. I never tried it before, really. This while I did this video, it was my first try, and that is why also I had first a little error, just a little error. I took a paper, took some distress oxides and created the paper like this with some water drops. Then I took my heating tool to dry it really out, and then I took a lot of these anti-static powder, because on distress ink oxides. It's kind of wet after this, and embossing is a little bit difficult, so you really need to prepare your paper or you dry your paper. Then I took these stamps I love so most. I think they are from the last release from Create a Smile, these fine ferns. Sorry. And I wanted to create a kind of junglish or jungle background with them. And yes, it took me a little bit longer. I only stamped it twice, then I embossed it clear, then I twice stamped 2 more and embossed it. So, but at the end, this is the result. It's okay. I think it's not too bad, but this is not the plan. The plan is that the clear embossing is fixing the color under the embossing. So the clue is when you now change the color left and right behind your image, then you have 2 different tones of green, or which color you prefer. But then I recognized, I think my first layer of greens and second layer of greens are too similar. So I again made my paper towel a little bit wet and removed the color from this embossing. And then I saw that the result is not as I wished it could be. So I take a minute, thought a little bit, and then I got the idea to use a darker color. The darker color is great in 2 ways. On the first way, you can get the focus of your card in the middle, because this dark frame makes the focus in the middle. So, and on the other hand is this, but German. Why you can't understand German? Is this a good way to have a very great dark and light contrast? Yay! And now you can see this result, and this is what I wanted to reach, and I love it so much. Maybe I will try it later with some different colors, but I'm really happy, yes, how it turned out. What do you think? Ah, it's so lovely. I like it. So, and now I want to show you very fast the finished card. I'm using again a stripe of vellum. Most of the times I rip my stripes by my own, and this is very clear edge and cut with my machine. But you can do what you like. So, and then I wanted to emboss the sentiment. Normally I do not like this embossing powder because the powder is not so fine, but in this case I was quite happy, and the color matches perfect to the, or nearly perfect, to the shirt of this little monkey. So, and now you can see that I'm a little bit crafty pig. Yes, it looks so dirty. I'm so sorry for that. It's I mostly use this for my alcohol inks, and yes, I'm a little piggy. So, but it's great for embossing paper which is not so strong or hard, or you know. Yes, and the best way to use vellum is when you use it in a way of, yeah, I cannot glue behind. So this is what I did on this card. Believe me, in real, the sentiment you can see better. I think on the video it is not so clear. Yes, I just add 2 things, these yellow Nuvo drops, and I'm using my glaze marker. It is a tip from, or a hint from Annie Carton, maybe you know her, and this jellyfish roll pen makes yes, a nice glaze to eyes or ears. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a lot of colorful embossing. And sorry for my English as always.